What's up, friend? Welcome back to my channel. I'm in a new location. In case you missed the ultimatum recap, we moved, we are in a new house, and I'm filming here because this is the best lighting. It is the cleanest besides my closet in the background with no closet doors. Different story for a different day. But we moved about a week ago and I'm trying to get back into the routine of filming and doing everything that I normally do. So we're gonna just keep this YouTube train rolling because I have important things to discuss. But the move has been a little bit stressful. Number one, I have way too much shit. Number two, we are doing a lot of renovations on the new place. So it's been a little hectic. Let me know if you want content about what we're doing to the house. We're switching up the kitchen. We're getting a bunch of new furniture. I'm getting closet doors eventually. In the words of Sheena Shea, it's all happening. And I'm totally down to share it all. I mean, I love videos like that, so just let me know. But today's video was inspired by this picture. That is Tom Girardi, okay? I couldn't believe my eyes either, that is him. And Tom Girardi, aka Erika Jayne's ex-husband, has recently been convicted of embezzling millions of dollars from his clients. Yeah, things have changed a lot since Tom was on the show, and that picture is why we are here today. I want to take a look back at how Tom Girardi's legal issues played out in real life and on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So we're gonna get into all of it, but quick disclaimer, I am not a lawyer, okay? I don't know anything, I don't know the law. I don't know how it works. The only law I know is if you come up, don't forget about your dog. That's law. So don't quote me, this is all alleged. I don't know anything, it's all a joke, tee, etc. I don't know why I feel like Tom Girardi is gonna come for me for this, but I just had to put it out there, this is all alleged. I just find this story really interesting, so bear with me here, okay? This one's a doozy. For a little bit of background, Erika Jayne joined Real Housewives of Beverly Hills back in season 6, and she was this baddie performer who pat the puss in crowded nightclubs and LA Pride. In my opinion, Expensive is her most iconic song, and it really nails down her persona the best. She sang about how it cost major money to maintain her lifestyle, and that money was managed by her husband, Tom Girardi. Tom was 32 years older than Erika and was best known for being an attorney in the Aaron Brockovich Pacific Gas and Electric case. Tom was really well known and respected. He was inducted into the Trial Lawyer Hall of Fame by the California State Bar. His mansion in Pasadena was absolutely iconic and featured its very own chapel for those late and lonely nights. But after a cast trip in season 11, Erika suddenly texted her fellow cast members with devastating news. She was filing for divorce from Tom on Election Day 2020, and I still remember I was in line at CVS when I read this news. Erika showed up to her fellow Southern housewife Sutton Strack's party a couple of episodes later to spill the tea. She explained that she let go of her Lamborghini, her 16,000 square foot mansion, and her luxurious lifestyle because Tom had pushed her out. She would hug him and he wouldn't hug her back. Their long, deep conversations had been reduced to a sentence or two. And the power imbalance between Erika, the former cocktail waitress, and Tom, the high-powered attorney, was too much to bear. She'd filed for divorce on Election Day in hopes that the story would get buried, and she'd essentially dropped him off at work with an unreturned "love ya hun," gone back to their mansion, packed up a bunch of furniture, and moved out. And a recurring theme throughout this entire storyline is Erika's secrecy. The divorce really caught everyone off guard because she had avoided telling them anything that was going on. Erika thought that if she shared any information with them, they could be implicated in the messy divorce or screw her over even worse than she already was. Then again, it wasn't like the other housewives hadn't sensed that Tom and Erika weren't the happiest couple ever.
It's not a marriage between Mauricio and Kyle. It's not a marriage between Dorit and PK.
Okay, that didn't age well. Anyway, Tom's past interactions with the group made it abundantly clear that he did not respect Erika. He never went to see her play Roxy in Chicago on Broadway, he'd never read her memoir, and when she participated in conversations with him, he would snap at her in front of everyone.
You have great looks.
Great intellect.
Excuse me, Erika. This is me talking, not you.
So a month after she files for divorce, news drops that Tom and Erika are being sued for fraud and embezzlement by plane crash victims' families. See, Tom had represented these victims' families in a lawsuit against Lion Air after one of their Boeing 737 Maxes went down, and he had won them a settlement of millions. Side note, this was years ago, and these Boeings are still going down. What the fuck is up with that? But $2 million had gone missing, and the lawsuit alleged that Tom and his law firm had used the funds to pay off other clients and fund Tom's extravagant lifestyle. Some publications were even alleging that Erika had filed for divorce to help Tom hide assets. This really caught the other housewives off guard because if this was true, Tom and Erika had defrauded widows and orphans, and that is a whole nother level of fucked up. Erika was totally maintaining her innocence at this point. She knew nothing about the alleged embezzlement, and her divorce was far from a sham. Still, she had to be very careful about what she said because this lawsuit could turn into a criminal criminal investigation and she had to cover her ass. What she could say was that she feared for Tom's well-being. An aspect of the divorce that she hadn't originally talked about was coming to light, and that was Tom's deteriorating health.
Hey, I've noticed that you can't see well. What are you talking about? I'm fine. No, you can't see well. You can't hear. You're degrading in front of me and you're ignoring it.
This was backed up by Tom's legal team. They wanted to have him medically evaluated to ensure that he was competent enough to face this lawsuit. Now that Tom's medical issues were becoming more public, ERIKA started getting more comfortable with letting the ladies in on what she'd gone through over the past few years. For example, Tom had gotten into a car accident the previous year, and ERIKA had told them that he had broken his ankle, but he'd be fine. The truth was that he had driven off of a cliff and fallen unconscious for 12 hours. And he'd broken his ankle. He'd left for an event on the west side around 9 p.m. and ERIKA didn't hear a word from him until 6 a.m. the next morning. At first, she assumed that he was with another woman because, yeah, he was doing that. But eventually, he called her on his flip phone all confused and she'd found him in a ravine behind their house. After the accident, Tom changed. He would repeat things, forget conversations, and take all of his frustrations out on ERIKA. And speaking of Tom being with other women, it had actually been the iconic Yolanda Hadid who had put the idea in ERIKA's head that Tom might be cheating. After witnessing Yolanda's divorce from David Foster, ERIKA went through Tom's flip phone and came across the sloppy jalopy jackpot. Tom had multiple side chicks, but ERIKA had no money and nowhere to go, so she just dealt with it. Every penny she made from ERIKA Jayne performances, Real Housewives, and other brand deals went directly to Tom. She had nothing but an American Express card, which weirdly started getting declined. And as she lacked financial freedom, she also lacked information. There was so much about Tom and his finances that ERIKA just didn't know. She didn't even know where his former Palm Springs mansion was. What was interesting to me though is that this lack of knowledge and financial power isn't that rare in these sorts of marriages. Sutton didn't know that she was the partial owner of a baseball team until a forensic accountant dug that up for her. Lisa Rinna noted that whenever Harry Hamlin gave her a 10-page contract to sign, she would just sign it without reading. Kathy Hilton told the ladies that she didn't even have a debit card. All of these women trusted their husbands to take care of them, and now it was biting ERIKA in the ass because she didn't know what she was dealing with in this divorce. As all of this unfolded, ERIKA's fellow housewives struggled to understand. Why couldn't Tom just give ERIKA some spousal support, write a check to the Lion Air victims, and make all of this go away? Was he really a broke-ass Dusty? After all, as these questions swirled, Tom had filed an involuntary bankruptcy petition with the court to avoid paying out. According to Tom and his legal team, at one point he had $50 million in cash, and now he had nothing. Why hadn't ERIKA been transparent with them about his head injury? How, despite ERIKA Jayne's enterprise being funded by Tom, did she have no idea where the money was coming from? The articles kept coming out and the mystery just got even more confusing. This was going so much farther than orphans and widows. It was being alleged now that Tom had defrauded even more of his clients, burn victims, cancer patients. This was more than just a civil case. Now, this was a federal criminal investigation. It was horrible, and it seemed very convenient that ERIKA knew so little. No one was more suspicious than Sutton. She'd consulted with a lawyer and told the other ladies that ERIKA was putting all of them in danger. To her, the stories weren't adding up, and she wanted to cut ERIKA off entirely. The ladies all met at Dorit's house, and Sutton made it abundantly clear that she was very concerned with how ERIKA's legal troubles reflected on her.
Look, I mean, Ruth Madoff has 0 friends. People don't like cheaters and liars and stealers. They just don't like them.
Tom's law firm had been shady for years, even leading to a partner and Tom's son-in-law resigning. The $50 million was missing because Tom and ERIKA had spent it all, and ERIKA knew so much more than she was letting on. She may have even known that these news articles and court updates were coming before they were released. Not to mention, ERIKA's behavior on social media was throwing up all the red flags. She was posting lingerie brand deals with captions about how she didn't give a fuck. She had posted salacious texts between Tom and his mistress, not screenshots. She had taken photos of the flip phone. It just really wasn't a good look, and Sutton decided to confront ERIKA at Kathy Hilton's Christmas party. The whole thing turned into a full-fledged interrogation. But again, it's in ERIKA's best interest to keep the details and the stories to a minimum, so she's not exactly being super forthcoming. And she's getting offended that her so-called friends would even question her like this. They're asking her why she doesn't feel bad for Tom's victims, how how much she knew and what she's lied about. My question was, why were they so concerned about getting implicated in this? Especially when they're doing interrogations like this, I'm thinking the less you know, the less likely you are to be subpoenaed or questioned in any way. Also, why the hell is Sutton Stracke so concerned about her reputation? This ain't Augusta. I mean, several of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills have been sued. Hello, have we not seen former housewife Brandi Glanville's entire life? At this point, ERIKA is pissed and completely just done with Sutton's shit.
You have a lot of nerve.
Don't talk to me like that.
Or what?
Seriously.
Or what?
Or nothing.
Right, exactly. Shut the up.
Truly an iconic quote that is quickly overshadowed when ERIKA meets up with Kyle a few days later to share some new developments.
You know, Tom's house was broken into and he confronted the burglar and then had to go have eye surgery. And then my son had to go over and help. And then my son, he rolled his car 5 times on the way home. Yeah, I'm under a lot of stress.
Wait, what?
So many questions about this one. The housewives just take this story as further proof that ERIKA isn't showing all of her cards. But to ERIKA, everything is adding up just fine. A few years ago, she started noticing that Tom's mental acuity was a bit off, and she sounded the alarm to his family and doctors, but no one wanted to do anything because no one wanted to get sued. ERIKA thinks that the drama with the funds started around that time. She's withholding information to cover her ass. I mean, what else do you need to know? ERIKA's kind of feeling like she's damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. If she's crying over the victims, then she's riddled with guilt. If she's happy, then she doesn't care enough. She's also so done with Sutton for questioning her, and Sutton still can't see what the problem was with all of her questions. Apparently, Sutton had offered ERIKA a loan when all of this went down, so ERIKA couldn't just be walking around saying that no one supported her, at least not financially. At this point, Tom's troubles are growing too. His family is trying to put him in a dementia facility under a conservatorship, which ERIKA feels really badly about. Tom has allegedly done some really awful things, but this was ERIKA's husband for decades. She has a little bit of a soft spot and doesn't want to see anything bad happen to him. Photos come out of Tom looking pretty bad with a black eye. I mean, what the hell is going on with him? She's concerned. On top of all of this, the bankruptcy trustees want to take Tom's mansion and evict him. At this point, ERIKA knows there is not going to be any money for me, and I've got to pull myself up by the bootstraps and just make it work. By the end of the season, ERIKA still isn't fucking with Sutton, Tom's in a memory care facility, and the divorce is being delayed by the conservatorship. And she's still finding out more about Tom's legal problems and side chicks. For example, Tom's law firm had this auction and they posted these panties that they found in his desk that weren't ERIKA's. Somebody bought those, and I want to know who. At the season 11 reunion, ERIKA had to clarify a lot of questions that came up, and she was pretty forthcoming despite her lawyers telling her to lay low. Throughout the season, there was this feedback from the other housewives that when they had hung out with Tom, he was totally with it and mentally fine. But ERIKA pointed out he never said any of y'all's names because he didn't remember them, and the stories that he was telling you guys were old stories that he had told 500 times. That blank look in his eyes, that was not boredom, okay? He was not in there. There was also speculation that Tom and ERIKA were secretly talking, but they weren't. She couldn't answer his phone calls for that exact reason. She didn't want people thinking that they were in cahoots. By the time the reunion rolled around, they actually had spoken, but ERIKA said that he wasn't really making sense. He wasn't mentally there, and he couldn't answer any of her questions. The following season, ERIKA continued to try to pick up the pieces and struggled to make sense of her new life. She got into therapy with Dr. Jen Mann, aka the counselor from VH1's Couples Therapy, and she started medication. This is where things went even further south. ERIKA was mixing her medication with alcohol and getting completely wasted wherever they went, and the other housewives were getting very concerned. She was accosting the ladies for threesomes, forgetting conversations, and cussing out their children.
What are you doing here?
Flowers.
Out of here. Don't come out of here.
On top of all of that, ERIKA was back in the press again because these $750,000 earrings that Tom had gifted her were being associated with his alleged victims. Because ERIKA was still afraid of the press and the courts twisting her words, she was very reluctant to associate herself and the earrings with the case. So when housewives like Garcelle and Crystal asked if she was going to turn in the earrings to help pay off the victims, the answer was a resounding hell no. If the judge asks her to turn in the earrings, she will turn them in. But until that moment, she's gonna keep wearing them and feel completely fine about it. Earring Gate comes to a head on the group trip to Aspen. Half of the women were giggly off of some edibles, and the other half were in a screaming match with ERIKA.
All I think about are victims.
I don't give a about anybody else but me.
At that point, the high girlies just wanted to shut her up because the lack of remorse is never going to be a good look. Legal strategy be damned. By the end of that season, the original Lionaire lawsuit against ERIKA was dismissed, but she did have to turn in the earrings to the trustees. Eventually, she did get the earrings back because they couldn't prove that the earrings had been directly purchased with money from the victims. Tom, however, was not off the hook in the slightest. Eventually, it came out that Tom had been sued over 100 times over the course of his career, but he had never faced any repercussions because he was in so tight with the California State Bar. Allegedly, okay? Allegedly, members of the California State Bar were accepting all sorts of gifts and things from Tom in exchange for their silence. Allegedly. When all this came out, Tom was disbarred and recently he was convicted. He was supposed to be sentenced in December, but the judge actually put the sentencing on hold because they're trying to figure out if he should go to prison or a facility. As for ERIKA, she was never officially charged with any wrongdoing. She even participated in this Hulu documentary with Tom's victims, and I gotta say, their conversation was a little awkward. Like, the conversation was on part 2 of the documentary, and she was telling the victims that she never watched part 1. So she had no idea who any of them were or what was really going on. It was weird. I'm not gonna lie. It was, yeah, a little awkward. ERIKA is responsible for the debts incurred during her marriage to Tom, and this is a totally separate bankruptcy thing that has nothing to do with the criminal case. It has been over 4 years now, and this divorce still isn't finalized. There's definitely a lot that ERIKA still has to face in the coming months and years, but at least she's not going to prison, right? Thank you for sticking with me through the whole video. If there is one thing that is super interesting to me, it's when real life catches up to reality TV, so I like researching stuff like this. But if you're into stories like this about reality TV, pop culture, and internet history, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on TikTok before it gets murked. Although, as I'm recording this video, I am currently banned. That's a whole nother thing. Whole separate legal drama of my own that's going down that I will definitely share with you when the time is right, because it has been a very hectic and weird 2 months. But hey, if my TikTok is back by the time you see this, go follow me on there. I tell the same stories, albeit 2% shorter and to the point. Anyway, all of that being said, I will catch you later. Bye.